Guys, it's Robert from Highman ZXC. Well, there has been talk for a while. I've been ignoring this because, it just has to do with AM news talk, and I'm not interested in that. But there has been talk that 93.3 might flip to a simulcast. This is just a huge might flip, not confirmed. Might flip to a simulcast of AM 590 KLBJ. This has been going on maybe for a few years now, but 590 KLBJ had a construction permit that now expires November 30th, which is very soon. They're trying to move to Metric Boulevard. I think that's near where Culver's used to be in Austin, but they never built the tower site because it cost a lot of money for AM signals. So I'm just wandering around. It costs a lot of money for AM signals to function nowadays, especially seeing as they're not very profitable because more people are going to FM. So they may not even bother using the construction permit to move 590 on 1300 KVTAM. I have to emphasize AM because KVET is also on 98.1 FM. 98.1 is country. 1300 The Zone is sports talk. Now that actually makes sense. Sports talk being on AM. So 1300 The Zone, AM sports talk. And 590 is it conservative talk? Is KLBJ AM 590 conservative talk? But they were thinking of moving that to 93.3. So what I'm trying to say is, if they move KLBJ AM to be on 93.3 FM, would they move the KLBJ call letters off of 93.7 and put KLBJ on 93.3? Would they move the 93.7 KLBJ call letters to 93.3? That's an interesting take. I wonder what your comments would be in the section if you commented on this video. Would KLBJ 93.7 move their KLBJ call letters to 93.3? Also, let me see what they said about that. Let's see. Okay. Also, might add more to the chatter about KLBJ winding up on 93.3. If they do that, it should be from the Bergstrom Towers. Now, I'm 13 miles away from the Bergstrom Tower. 1,900-foot tower running 100,000 watts. Yeah, 93.3 should have never, ever have left that tower. The only reason why they moved to 620 and 2222 with only like a 200-foot tower running 50,000 watts? It's because of interference. I heard 93.3 very well in Austin. They're just making excuses. So let's see. Also, my ad clear. Okay, to not KLBJ moving to 93.3. If they do, that should be from the Bergstrom Towers. The K-Bet site is now an odd patch of land surrounded by vast urban sprawl. Surprised it is still there. 20 years ago, there was a plan to move K-Bet to a new site southwest of Austin with 5,000 watts and night site northeast of the city at 700 watts. Never happened. More than 60 years ago, while someone was growing up in Austin, the KVET site was out in the country, surrounded by deissued farmland and the occasional abandoned farmhouse. So yeah, what do you think? Do you think 93.7 will change call letters to something else while 93.3 moves to KLBJ's call letters? That'd be interesting to know. So I'll talk to you guys later. What do you think? Do you think 93.3 would change their call letters from KGSR to KLBJ, and 93.7, of course, would have to get new call letters? Would they change their name? I'm sure 93.7 would have to change their name. I would love to see 93.3 move back to the Bergstrom Towers. I only live 13 miles away. Imagine how strong 93.3 would be here in Leander, Texas, if they move back to the Bergstrom Towers. They haven't been on the Bertram Tower since like 2019, 2020. Occasionally they have snuck back on the Bertram Towers. Also, here's another thing I just noticed. When I go on the FCC database, it says that 200-foot tower running 50,000 watts was dismissed or canceled, meaning they shouldn't even be on there in the first place. I looked it up on my Radioland app. I think it's called Radioland. It says they're on the 1,926-foot tower running 100,000 watts. When I go to Radio Locator, it says the exact same thing. 1,900-foot tower running 100,000 watts. So I don't even think they're supposed to be on that short tower. They're illegally on that tower. Nice try, guys. They worked, B93 worked really hard, along with Mega 93.3, worked so hard to get such a really powerful signal, and Waterloo just does not function as a company. They keep going off the air. A lot of stations keep going silent. Ever since Emmis sold to Waterloo, it's been a catastrophe of epic proportions, yo. So we'll see. Can we get something stable on 93.3? Because Vibe is just not doing it. I'm Robert. Bye.